You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, more details emerging after a shooter opened fire at Annunciation Catholic Church in Minneapolis.
Also, Carl Junction's Mayor Mike Moss is removed from office. What this means for the community.
And we've got some cloudy skies, patchy fog out there as well. We'll go over that and our holiday weekend forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Friday, August the 29th here in the 4 states. And of course, the Minneapolis community is still reeling from the after effects of that deadly shooting.
Absolutely. And this morning, we're learning more about the Minneapolis church shooting that took the lives of 2 young children and injured 18 people. Police now say the suspect had been a member of the Catholic Church where the shooting took place and may have visited the church in the weeks leading up to the attack to conduct surveillance.
CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
A coward decided to take our 8-year-old son Fletcher away from us.
Incredible sadness for the families of Fletcher Merkel and 10-year-old Harper Moisky, killed when a person opened fire on Annunciation Catholic Church Wednesday.
Please remember Fletcher for the person he was and not the act that ended his life. Give your kids an extra hug and kiss today.
Harper's parents wrote they are shattered and called on leaders to do more to address gun violence and mental health. Yesterday, the mayor of Minneapolis called for stronger gun safety laws.
There is no reason that someone should be able to reel off 30 shots before they even have to reload.
Police say the shooter, identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, couldn't even see the hundreds of students and staff inside the church as bullets shattered the stained glass windows. At the scene, they found about 116 rifle rounds, 3 shotgun shells, and a live handgun round that police believe jammed in the chamber. Also, 3 legally purchased guns.
The shooter expressed hate towards almost every group imaginable. The shooter idolized some of the most notorious school shooters and mass murderers in our country's history.
In the search for answers, police say they're combing through hundreds of journal pages from the suspected shooter that they describe as full of hate and disturbing.
Well, police say hundreds of pieces of evidence have been recovered after they executed search warrants on 3 residents connected to the shooter.
Investigators are also examining the suspect's electronic devices. Of course, just a tragic situation up there, unfortunately, but hopefully they'll get some answers, some closures before too much longer. We've got some patchy dense fog out there we have to contend with locally on the camera downtown Pittsburgh, our camera rather, downtown Pittsburgh. It is cloudier in Pittsburgh right now than it is in Joplin. You saw it shot a moment ago. We'll show you again of some of that sunshine. Not much, but some. And if you look off in the horizon, you can see some light fog out there. KDOT camera just south of Pittsburgh, same thing. You can see some of that fog, especially looking, now it's looking back north at south of Pittsburgh, but you can see some light fog out there. This is what I was talking about. Our camera at 7th and Range Line getting just a little bit of sunlight in under this thick cloud layer. But if you look off in the horizon above target there, you can see some light fog as well. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line in Joplin. Cloudy skies, again, some of that sunshine getting through, but no dense fog where we've got camera locations. However, we do have dense fog advisories continuing through 10 a.m. for just about everyone. National Weather Service in Topeka for Coffee and Anderson counties has put those through 9 a.m., but everybody else, these will run through 10 a.m., and this is exactly why. The usual corridor here, the Highway 54 corridor, is where the densest fog has been most of the morning. Iola has been at 0 visibility since just before 5 o'clock this morning. It has had no change. Fort Scott now down to 0. Look at this, along 54 across our entire northern edge of our area, Yates Center to Stockton. Reduce visibilities. You got to slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Leave distance if you can even see the vehicle ahead of you. Leave plenty of distance. And take a look. This is county-wide as well. It's not just confined to these communities. We also have reduced visibilities around Chanute. And then outside of the advisories, Independence, Fredonia, for example, even Miami, some slightly reduced visibilities. So just make sure you're being cautious. We're talking, again, 54, 160, 69, 75, I-49, just some areas you you want to slow down and be cautious with this morning. Now, once that fog burns off around 10 o'clock or so, we will still be mostly cloudy for the majority of this day. I mean, we won't go partly cloudy until 9 o'clock tonight or so, but we'll be warmer and we'll be drier than where we were yesterday as well. Temperatures this morning, a little cool, 61 Joplin and 63 in Pittsburgh. Up to the north and east, we've got 54 in Stockton now as the cool spot. We've got some locations tied for the warmer spot sitting at 65. Most of us, though, low to mid-60s as we get this day underway. We're going to go into the mid-60s by 9. Still foggy. Low 70s by noon, upper 70s, maybe even some low 80s for our highs today. Southeast winds 5 to 10. We're going to talk more about the weekend as well because I know some of you probably have some plans. It's a long weekend. Talk about some rain chances we're looking at and how warm it's going to be this weekend here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks. Well, after hours of testimony, the Carl Junction Board of Aldermen voted to remove Mayor Mike Moss from office. The impeachment hearing comes after 4 articles of impeachment were brought against Mayor Moss following allegations of workplace harassment. Tuesday night, city employees began testifying about alleged workplace harassment, including inappropriate physical positioning and comments that made coming to work difficult. Moss was also investigated for repeatedly asking the city administrator about retirement plans. The mayor's legal team called the proceedings voter nullification, but council members said impact matters more than intention. Last night, the board voted to remove Moss from office immediately, declaring the mayor's position vacant. Well, local realtors say the Joplin market remains steady. The most popular price point for homes is between $150,000 to $250,000. And according to Realtor.com, in July, the average length the house stays on the market is 41 days.
Yes, economics kind of depends on, controls that, you know, if they want to just buy something new or a different one, then it's a great time to buy. They may not be able to find everything they want, you know, because we are probably a little bit shorter. I know.
According to real estate professionals we spoke to, it's best to buy a home when you feel you are ready, not when you feel the market is ready. Well, Missouri's sweeping safety bill, House Bill 495, went into effect yesterday. Much of it focuses on property crimes. And as Adam Woodbury reports, one of the biggest changes targets vehicle break-ins and punishing those criminals.
So hopefully this will be the deterrent that we need that will curb that instinct and that opportunity for suspects to do that.
Every year when August 28th rolls around, the newest public safety laws go into effect. Each year, lawmakers approve a slew of changes, often focusing on a specific type of crime. This year, property crimes are a hot topic.
In this particular instance, House Bill 495 does make some significant modifications, and you can tell that the House is really wanting to crack down on vehicle break-in.
Defense attorney Adam Woody says the legislature created a new statute when it comes to vehicle break-ins. Doing that is now a second-degree burglary and a Class E felony that could get you 4 years in prison.
So if someone unlawfully enters a vehicle for the purpose of committing a crime therein, and that would be any part of the body entering that vehicle, or even an object connected to the body entering the vehicle, that's now burglary along with buildings or inhabitable structures.
A lot of car break-ins happen when crooks check handles for unlocked doors. That's something this new law hopes to crack down on.
So if an individual is going around and checking the handles and trying to get into several different vehicles, for example, in a parking lot or parking garage, and we have that evidence they've been doing that, now with this new law, we can charge them with a felony.
The bill also goes over organized retail theft, which Springfield Police Lieutenant Jennifer Charleston says will crack down on thieves who are targeting multiple stores and people who try to make money by returning goods or reselling them.
So this is going to be very helpful for us because it adds another tool for us to hold criminals accountable from stealing from our area businesses here in Springfield.
Now, these are just 2 parts of the new law. It also increases prison times for people convicted of sex trafficking, ends non-disclosure agreements in sexual abuse cases, and it increases penalties for tampering with water supplies in Missouri. Those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, today marks 20 years since since Hurricane Katrina. We'll take a look at how it's still impacting communities. And later, a rare flower blooms in San Diego. We'll have the latest. Time now, 7:09. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the Yates Center downtown square. Topping Nation Watch this morning, the U.S. economy grew faster than expected between April and June. New Commerce Department data shows the nation's gross domestic product expanded at an annual rate of 3.3%, up from the agency's initial 3% projection. Now, the government says increased consumer spending and greater business investment in artificial intelligence drove the uptick. This after numbers showed that the U.S. economy shrank 0.5% during the first 3 months of 2025. Well, Country Eggs is recalling its large brown cage-free Sunshine yolks because of a possible salmonella contamination. The eggs are sold under multiple brand names, and according to a notice from the FDA, there have been more than 90 reports of illnesses so far across 14 states. More than 70 illnesses were reported in California, where the egg producer is based. Federal regulators are investigating. Consumers can return the recalled eggs to their place of purchase for a full refund. And this weekend's Powerball jackpot is now close to $1 billion. The last time someone won the big prize was 3 months ago. Tomorrow night's jackpot is the 6th largest in the game's history, with a cash value of more than $428 million. Well, 20 years ago, this Friday, Hurricane Katrina made its second and most destructive landfall in the U.S., coming ashore in southeast Louisiana. But the powerful storm left a lasting blow in places like Biloxi, Mississippi as well. CBS's Katie Weiss reports the community is still in recovery mode.
Hurricane Katrina didn't spare Biloxi, Mississippi.
We swam down 4 houses, and this lady took us in and gave me these clothes, and here I am.
20 years later, the city is still rebuilding.
The water would have been over our heads.
We've been 10 foot over our heads.
During Katrina?
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mayor Fofo Gillich says it's been a constant battle with FEMA. To rebuild the city's pier stronger than before, they need $4 million. But he says FEMA has a different number.
$555,000, which is absolutely, in my mind, ridiculous.
The biggest unfinished project, upgrades to the city's sewage and stormwater system to better protect the city from the next monster storm.
We can't bid these last 2 projects unless we have assurance of funding.
FEMA still owes Biloxi $34 million to finish the work planned 20 years ago. But the mayor says the cost of supplies and labor have outpaced that.
How do you really feel about how you've been treated by this agency?
Well, it's just ridiculous. That's how I really feel. Come on.
FEMA has said throughout the years that your city wasn't using the money appropriately or was, making mistakes, and how the city was using the money.
I can tell you that's not right. Bottom line, I'm here to say we've done everything we could possibly do.
Biloxi is not alone. We found more than 200 other FEMA Katrina relief projects meant to help municipalities across Louisiana and Mississippi that still aren't done.
Almost like dealing with insurance agents, delay, depose, and deny.
This as Congress hashes out a potential overhaul of FEMA. U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem testified before Congress in May.
We still have claims outstanding in FEMA from Hurricane Katrina, wildfire claims from out west that are 10 years old. So that needs to end, and this needs some integrity to it, and making sure the federal government's there for support, but the states are empowered to do the emergency response is very important to President Trump.
We reached out to FEMA for comment and are still waiting for a response. Mayor Gillich is cautiously optimistic.
How much longer do you think it's going to take before these get done?
I think good 3 years. Again, the end result is righteous. It's going to be something that we can sustain a lot of the things, as far as what Mother Nature throws at us.
Nerve-wracking uncertainty as another hurricane season heats up.
And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Taking a look at our camera at 7th and Rangeline, it's kind of interesting. You can see the clouds off in the distance, and some of those clouds are from the fog that's being generated, the dense fog, down at surface level. Certainly a unique view. In fact, getting a little more blue skies over Joplin right now, and you can see it even in the horizon here from MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline. Here's a look at our dense fog advisories for everybody except Anderson and Coffee counties. These run through 10 a.m. Anderson and Coffee counties, these will run through 9 a.m. for you. And this is why, again, north of 54 and right along it, very dense fog. Iola, I mentioned this earlier, and it's the truth here. Iola's been reporting zero visibility since before 5 a.m. It is coming up, it's 7:19 now, almost 7:20. And since before 5 a.m., zero visibility, and it hasn't changed all morning. Fort Scott now down to zero visibility, so we're talking good portions of Allen, Bourbon County, stretching over to Woodson counties. We got Yates Center, Nevada, Stockton, all dealing with reduced visibility, Chanute as well. And then even outside the dense fog advisory zones, Independence, Parsons, Fredonia, Sedan, not significantly reduced as what we're seeing up north, but still some patchy fog out there as well. So the big thing, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them, slow down, leave plenty of distance between you and whoever may be ahead of you, okay? Make sure you got plenty of stopping distance, because in zero visibility, something could come up on you just out of nowhere. So you got to really be cautious this morning. All right, here's what we've got. Future track. We're going to be mostly cloudy for most of today. And we could get, Future Track thinks maybe a sprinkle or two, so we're going to say, like a 2% chance of a shower or a sprinkle. Really not expecting anything. We'll go partly cloudy late evening overnight. Then as we head toward early tomorrow morning, the dense fog returns. We go back at least briefly to mostly cloudy skies. The fog burns off. We're partly cloudy by the mid-morning hours and into the afternoon on our Saturday. Isolated pop-up storms will be possible, and you can see they're kind of all over the place because we could get them anywhere. It's just fairly typical with our pop-up storm chances, but it doesn't necessarily mean you need to cancel your holiday weekend plans, because we're looking at isolated storms. So the big thing is to remember, when thunder roars, head indoors. Just have a dry, safe place to go just in case, but don't cancel your plans. Could get a stray organized shower or rumble of thunder early Sunday into Sunday morning, and then after that we go right back to just kind of those isolated pop-up storm chances as we roll into the afternoon. Fog, cloudy skies to deal with through the morning. Low 60s to start, right about 70 by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today, even though it's expected to be mostly cloudy, we are looking to be a bit warmer than yesterday. Upper 70s, maybe even a couple of low 80s out there. Again, into the evening, we're still mostly cloudy for a good portion of the evening. It's not until late tonight, like 9, 10 o'clock, we'll go partly cloudy. Fog returns back into low 60s. Winds expected to be calm. And as we take a look down the road, our holiday weekend temperatures not bad, mid-80s all the way through Labor Day. Pop-up storm chances, yeah, they're through Labor Day too, but remember, they're isolated. And then we're just kind of hover upper 70s, low to mid-80s initially. We do warm up a bit by next Friday, but by next weekend, we're not looking too bad out there. Temperatures falling back right around the mid-80s. So not a bad start to the first week of September, not a bad holiday weekend in general. Just got to get through this fog this morning and again tomorrow morning as well. That's a check of your forecast. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Well, the San Diego Botanical Garden is hosting a rare occurrence.
Fox's Jamie Chambers reports.
Not roses, not jasmine, not hibiscus or Gerber daisies. The San Diego Botanical Gardens are rolling out something with a little more punch.
This is like the rock star plant of the plant universe, and when it flowers, people get so excited and literally come from everywhere to see this incredibly rare occurrence.
Yes, the corpse flower is on the edge of blooming. Once every 5 to 10 years, one of these Sumatran tropical giants wakes up and wakes up everybody with it.
It is the largest inflorescence in the world, so it's just the largest flower, and people get excited about these superlative, maxy plants.
The biggest.
The biggest comes from Sumatra, and it's the biggest. And also, it does have this putrid smell.
And that's why the lines to the San Diego Botanical Garden to experience this sleeping aromatic dumpster fire will be around the block for 2 nights only.
In this conservatory, the last time we had one of these bloom, we kept everything closed to kind of hold the smell inside, and it literally was like being punched in the face when you walked into this space.
That's why many people call this a bucket list item, because they only want to do it once. So why does it smell so bad? Novi says evolutionarily, pollinators in Sumatra also like to eat dead things.
It attracts insects, and the insects that it attracts like really nasty smells. These are dung beetles, these are carrion beetles, the kinds of insects that in tropical Indonesia are feasting on a dead animal that has been sitting in the humid sun for a while.
The corpse flower is expected to bloom as early as 2 to 3 days from now, as late as a week, maybe even a week and a half out. But once it does, it only blooms for 2 days, so you can expect lines around the block to get into the San Diego Botanical Gardens. That's the very latest. From Encinitas, I'm Jamie Chambers. Back to you in the studio.
Very interesting.
Very unique flower. It's not one you want at the house necessarily, but I mean, that is very interesting. And it's so neat how plants and animals adapt to their surroundings to ensure their survival. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, coming up, the Pittsburgh Fire Chief is leaving his post, what this means for the community.
And we've got some cloudy skies and some dense fog out there. Got another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 7:27. We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. I'm Elise Noe. Pittsburgh Fire Chief Taylor Cerny will be transitioning to Battalion Chief after leading the department for 3 years. His new role will be more hands-on as he'll work more closely with emergency response operations. Though Cerny says he's proud of his work as chief, he says he found the administrative side less fulfilling.
Overall, it was the best choice for my family, for my career, and I believe for the department. I love running calls. I love going to fires, to medical calls, and being on the truck and being that guy who is able to make a direct difference in somebody's life.
During his time as chief, the department purchased a new engine and is on the verge of acquiring another. Self-contained breathing apparatuses were also improved. Cerny will remain a chief until the department names his replacement. Well, the Joplin Regional Alliance for Health is asking the community to help shape the future of healthcare in the region. The group launched a survey to gather feedback from both healthcare workers and local residents. The JRAH wants to hear new ideas for making services more accessible, to improve efficiency, and identify gaps that need attention. The results will help guide future initiatives, including new technologies, programs, and even economic opportunities that could bring jobs to the region.
We'd like to hear their ideas. We'd like to hear their wants, things that they believe will make healthcare more accessible, easier to use, and more efficient for them to want to interact with, or ideas, things that they don't think are working as well as they'd like, that they can tell us, hey, we want to see this. So new ideas and things that will make it better.
Anyone 18 or older is encouraged to take part, whether you're a patient, a caregiver, or work in the industry. Football season is officially underway for Gorilla fans. Fans gathered at the Pit in Pittsburgh last night to cheer on the Gorillas in their season opener against Ferris State. The watch party featured food and drink specials, with the crowd rallying together to kick off the football season.
I've been a Pittsburgh State University football fan my entire life. There's a photo of my grandpa showing up to the hospital the day I was born with Pitt State booties. So I've been loving Pitt State football for as long as I can remember. I'm a 2023 Pitt State grad, and I just love Pitt State football.
The final score of that game was Pitt State 17, Ferris State 34. Let's take it over now to Chris for a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, still dealing with some dense fog out there this morning. Of course, cloudy skies as well. You can see from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh on East 520th Avenue. Of course, on 69, you can see some of the patchy fog or light fog off in the distance there. Our camera 7th and Rangeline, we're actually getting some sunshine in. We still have mostly cloudy skies, but it's got a nice orange glow out there. A little more orange than usual, it seems. MoDOT camera, though, just down the road from that, there's no sunshine, no big sunshine reaching the Bel Air Center or really anywhere else. So that's the nature of mostly cloudy skies. You don't have to go too far. Now you can't even see the sunshine down there. Dense fog advisories for everyone except Anderson and Coffee counties run until 10 a.m. Anderson and Coffee, you are covered by the Topeka Weather Service office, and those will expire at 9 a.m. But this is why. Now, Iola, it's so funny. Right after we got done with our last weather update, I talked about how Iola had been at zero visibility since, I don't know, about 4:30 this morning. As soon as we went off the air, the fog tracker updated. Now you're at 4/10. Still not a big improvement, though. Very dense fog, 54 from Yates Center to Stockton. Parts of 69, 49, 160 rather, 75. Just make sure you're slowing down. Give yourself time to get where you're going this morning because we're still dealing with that very dense fog. Once that burns off, about 10 o'clock or so, we are looking at mostly cloudy skies across the area. Should be dry. We won't actually start to go partly cloudy until much later this evening. Quick look at temperatures. 61 Joplin, 62 Pittsburgh. Still, you can see the light blues up here. Stockton a little cooler at 54. The rest of us, though, for the most part, in the low to mid 60s. Should be right around the mid 60s by 9. Still dealing with some fog, though. Low 70s by noon. Highs today, upper 70s, low 80s, and a southeast breeze 5 to 10. Holiday weekend kicking off for some of you as early as today. What does the whole thing look like in the forecast? Details in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks. Well, CASA employees receive a pleasant surprise, the gift of a storm-proof playhouse. The initial cost made the children's advocates in Joplin believe the project was out of reach, but as KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, a local church stepped in to make the project a reality.
In the summer, I had approached my boss, Debbie, about getting a playhouse for our backyard.
Erica Freeborn is a CASA employee in Joplin. She had wishes of having a playhouse, but had trouble finding a good deal.
It'd be a little pricey and maybe not exactly what we wanted, and so we approached Brad, who works here as well, and he said he could build us something.
Brad Crane is the advocate supervisor for CASA. He's the one responsible for building this playhouse, but he didn't do it alone.
Kansas City University had their week care day. They sent me 9 volunteers, and they helped me pull it off of my trailer and put the pieces out here, and we got 90% of the frame together.
Now, Crane thought he had enough funding to complete the project, but underestimated it. But things took a turn when he received an unexpected phone call from First Baptist Church in Diamond.
Gave us $1,700, which was like $200 more than I expected this to actually cost.
Now, this congregation had no idea of CASA's situation. Tivis Booth is the pastor.
Didn't round the number or anything. It's definitely a God thing that it worked out, and we were excited that it did.
This playhouse is weatherproof according to Brad and top-notch security.
Any direction, you should be able to see inside. The inside doesn't have any, the trusses are open, so as long as you're under 7 foot tall, you can stand up inside.
Just as a safe space, even when doing pretend play.
And leaders tell me the playhouse will hopefully bring joy to children for a long time. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
CASA says Jasper County currently has more than 350 children in foster care. They say volunteers are always needed. And let's look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on KOAM Morning News. Shannon Becker joins us in the studio with his big 3 stories of the week. Time now, 7:37. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from the Yates Center Downtown Square. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Shannon, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy to have you as always.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's take a look at the big 3 live and local stories this week. What's happening where you live? Number 3 this week. Kind of an interesting story here. It was really fun. Ozark Crane and Dale Oglesby. Dale Oglesby used to be the mayor of Galena. And Tilton House Moving, all together came on Monday and put in the Route 66 Centennial Arch. It's the only arch for the centennial this next year.
Good.
The Route 66 Association of America have certified it. It's exactly 100 feet wide. Isn't that kind of cool?
That's really
yeah,
cool.
It's really
special
cool.
for Galena too.
And it's going to be a really neat kind of picture opportunity, if you want to say. The truss is actually, the metal came from East Middle School after the tornado. And it wasn't long after that Dale Oglesby said that he was kind of inspired. He's like, hey, that'd be a great idea. You know,
really
so it's been
cool tides for the area,
more than a decade in the making. Our number 2 story, Joplin News First, live and local, a bomb in the Rosedale neighborhood of Joplin. Well, it was a home that had recently been vacated and someone else had bought it. People behind, it happens a lot, they left a lot of stuff, a lot of junk.
Wow.
And so as someone was cleaning out the residence, they found a suspicious device. Sure. And it definitely looked like it. They showed me a picture of it. We couldn't share it publicly. Of course. But it looked like something you would call the bomb squad about. Police take a look at it. It's kind of a lengthy process, but this is the third time in the last, not that they're related, but third time in the last couple of weeks. We had Pierce City, Aurora, now Joplin. These
very interesting,
right? Yeah. I'm sure people obviously can look on the internet and find how to make these things, but they're very dangerous, of course. They did neutralize that bomb. Our number one story, you can find on our website all the details about Saturation Saturday, Mothers Against Drunk Driving Heartland. They reminded everyone that it is the most deadly weekend in the United States, Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
So always leading up to Labor Day weekend, they do a thing called Saturation Saturday to remind everybody. So it's funded by federal funds of the Transportation Safety Board, and then it's funneled through, in Missouri, through MoDOT.
Right, okay.
And we say Saturation Patrol, it's not necessarily a checkpoint. They just have more officers on the streets that work in tandem.
Very important.
In Jasper and Newton County, they meet together and drop off their DWI suspects at 32nd and Main, the DWI task force bus, so they can do paperwork and stuff and then get back right on the road and do more of that work. And our bonus story of the week, Smokin' Mocan Dragway. It's the 60th annual Labor Day Classic. I bet you haven't had a chance to go to the drag strip, have you?
You know,
I know that's you are
normally on the top
you
of
are
the
a
list,
lovely
but I know
lady.
it's
Yes.
so fun for folks, and I have been to a dragway before. Just haven't made my way to this one, but it looks so fun.
It's so cool. I'd never been before either until I started working at KOAM. Being there, like they've had me film like right there on the starting line. It is so. It just jars every bone in your body, but it's really exciting. Yeah, it's really exciting. So this weekend, everybody was pulling in last night. They'll be getting in more today.
So fun.
And it should be great weather for the 60th annual Labor Day Classic. And you got to come out and see it. It'll be a lot of fun.
Absolutely, looks great.
It's our bonus story of the week, KOAM News Now.
Yes, Shannon, as always, thanks so much. Happy to have you. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:45. A reminder, we have dense fog advisories for the northeastern half of our area. The majority of these run through 10 a.m. with the exception of Coffee and Anderson counties. You're under the Topeka office jurisdiction, and they've decided these will run through 9 a.m. But still, dense fog nonetheless, and you can see on our fog tracker, Iola had been at zero visibility since, about 4:30 this morning. Improved to 0.4 of a mile in the last update, and this new update now back down to 1/10 of a mile. So we're talking very dense fog right along the 54 corridor, Yates Center back to Stockton, Fort Scott, Iola. We're talking all of Allen and Bourbon counties really with almost zero visibility. We're talking county-wide zero visibility this morning. Chanute has now dropped below a mile, so you've got to be cautious. Slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them, okay? And even outside of the zone where we have the advisories, Fredonia, Independence, Sedan, Parsons, getting some reduced visibilities there as well. So even if you're not under the dense fog advisory, it doesn't mean we couldn't still see some patchy fog outside of that zone. Once that burns off, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies out there, a 2% chance of a raindrop or two. Really, we should just be dry today. Partly cloudy late this evening into the overnight. Then tomorrow, or very early tomorrow, I should say, we get the dense fog returning, so that makes us kind of mostly cloudy to start our Saturday. The fog burns off again by mid-morning. We're partly cloudy into the afternoon, and we start to see opportunities for isolated pop-up showers and storms. So as we've said all morning, don't cancel your weekend plans. Just have a safe, dry place to go in case one of those showers or storms gets close to you, or maybe even right over you. We'll go back to partly to mostly cloudy overnight into Saturday into Sunday. Could get maybe one or two briefly organized areas of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. Nothing severe is expected with any of this activity, but that will be short-lived before east of 69 it transitions back into pop-up storm chances, and even that will be brief, wrapping up by 5, maybe as late as 6 o'clock, and that's it until we see additional pop-up storms on Monday. All right, so here we got the fog again for many of us continuing through 10 a.m. Low 60s to start, near 70 by 11 a.m. Mostly cloudy skies. Doesn't mean you won't see some sunshine, because see, there it is even in the icon. But we won't see that much sunshine for many of us. Upper 70s, maybe even some low 80s. So despite the clouds, still warmer than yesterday. Eventually, late, we go partly cloudy. Fog builds back in overnight tonight. Low 60s and calm winds out there. Then we go through the Labor Day weekend, mid-80s, Isolated pop-up storms, just again, make sure you have a safe, dry place to go. And as we roll into the first week of September, some upper 70s and some mid 80s. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Labor Day is on the horizon, and while it often signals the unofficial end of summer,
many folks will still be heading out this weekend to try and fit in one final seasonal getaway. Fox News' Chris DeMeo takes a closer look at AAA's travel predictions and tips.
Even though Labor Day doesn't typically see the same heavy flow of travelers as other federal holidays,
some people are either out of vacation days, out of money after the summer fun, or maybe their kids are back in school.
AAA says plenty of people will still be on the move. But many folks may choose to keep it simple.
Now, what a lot of people do over Labor Day weekend is take a short road trips or maybe even staycations.
For those looking to get a head start on the long weekend and leave on Friday,
do it earlier in the day. What a lot of people do is they wait until they get off work and then hit the road. You're going to get some traffic there because if where you live, schools are back in session, you're going to have school traffic mixed in with some travelers.
But if you can't start your trip until Saturday, AAA says the best times to travel by car are between 6 and 10 in the morning. And while it's never a pleasure to pay at the pump,
the good news with gas prices overall is that we've seen a relatively steady summer. The average has been about $3.15.
But not everyone will be staying local.
But for the people who are going out of town, our AAA booking data shows that people are going to Seattle because of Alaska cruises, Orlando for the theme parks and for the cruises that leave out of Central Florida, and New York City, Chicago, Atlanta, Boston.
And those needing cars and lodging may find savings. AAA data shows hotel rates are 11% lower and rental car costs are 3% cheaper compared to last Labor Day. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Some great tips there just to keep in mind before the weekend starts. Really.
Yeah, if you are starting early, if you're up north, you are it's probably better, honestly, if you start a little later with the dense fog we've got. Let's start with that dense fog advisory again through 10 a.m. for everyone except Coffee and Anderson County. Those will expire at 9 a.m. Here's a look at the fog tracker. Again, we've got almost zero visibility county-wide for Allen and Bourbon counties. So that's why you really do need to play it safe. Slow driving, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights. This is what they are designed for. This is why they exist if your car has them. But the entire 54 corridor, reduced visibility stretching back down into Chanute, Fredonia. We've got reduced visibility, Sedan, Independence, Parsons. So again, just be careful out there this morning. If you are starting your holiday travel a little early, if you're a little further south, all right, it's not too bad. If you're heading east, though, just a heads up, the dense fog advisories go further east, and you can see it's just clipping us here, but we do have dense fog on I-44 east of our immediate area, so something else to keep in mind. Unless you're traveling west, you should be all right. We'll have mostly cloudy skies through almost all day today. Could get a raindrop or two, but it's like a 1 or 2% chance. It will go partly cloudy late evening into the early overnight. Fog will return tomorrow morning. Some dense fog possible again. And we go partly cloudy Saturday, maybe some isolated pop-up showers or storms here or there. And that will return again for our Sunday as well. We'll have an opportunity initially for maybe a stray shower or storm and then maybe a couple of pop-up storms into the afternoon. Got another look at your forecast and your wake-up recap next.
This is your Wake Up Recap for August 29th. The top stories to start your day. The city of Carl Junction is reeling after last night's decision to remove Mayor Mike Moss from office following intense testimonies from city employees about alleged workplace harassment. The board voted to declare the mayor's position vacant. The mayor's legal team argued this was a voter nullification, but council members emphasized the impact of the allegations. The JRAH is actively seeking input from healthcare workers and local residents through a newly launched survey. They aim to gather fresh ideas to enhance service accessibility, improve efficiency, and identify critical gaps. The feedback will shape future initiatives, potentially introducing new technologies, programs, and economic opportunities to boost regional employment. And local realtors report that the Joplin housing market remains steady. Homes priced between $150,000 and $250,000 are the most sought after. In July, houses averaged 41 days on the market, according to Realtor.com. And that's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And again, dense fog out there this morning. Once that burns off by about 10 a.m., we'll go upper 70s, maybe some low 80s, mostly cloudy skies. We'll eventually go partly cloudy by late evening and for a bit overnight, back into low 60s. More dense fog towards tomorrow morning. Winds will be calm. Isolated pop-up storm chances through the holiday weekend. So again, don't cancel your plans. Just have a dry place to go just in case. Temperatures, though, not bad. Mid-80s out there heading into Labor Day.
All right. Well, new video shows the moment a group of dolphins have some fun in the sun while jumping off Newport Beach in California. More than 100 bottlenose dolphins started to show off by racing alongside a whale watching boats.
Now, the rare scene left the passengers amazed. According to the boat employees, it is not typical for bottlenose dolphins to jump so high, but the extraordinary moment shows how playful the species can be. That would be quite a show to see them, and they're racing with you down there. It's really cool.
It really is fun.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll be back today with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.